Where'd it go? All right. Episode 1, the Gnar Gnar Bros, starring me, Kenny, and
Sergio.
my friend Sergio. I'm an ESFP, if you couldn't tell, obviously. And this is my good friend Sergio.
I am an ENTP. If I were an ENTJ, I would not be making this channel right now.
And that I'd have to agree. All right, let's jump right into it, brother. I will say, Sergio, why don't you go first? Well, I'll start. What's the most ESFP thing about me? I'll start because it'll be funny and stupid, and then you can go serious.
Kenny, real quick.
So
I should be like, hey, all right, audience, bear with us. First channel. All right. How about like we ask each other the questions on this one?
all right, ask me, but do the ESFP version.
What is the most ESFP thing about you?
Thanks for asking me, Sergio. That's a really well thought out question. Thank you. I will say I'm about as extroverted as it can get, super loud. I dress really loud. Like, this is just how I sit around at home. I wasn't wearing a hat earlier, but I put one on because my hair is like, you know what I mean? I didn't style it, but like, this is a really loud and colorful sweater. Basically, my appearance in general is loud. Like, I have these stripes. Like, I get like my hair cut in a pretty
dusty levels,
loud way. I got high testosterone. I mean, I assume I have just high testosterone. I haven't like gotten it measured or been evaluated in that way.
Just comes out.
It just comes out. It just droops out. That's my on. ESFP thing about me, and then also super forgetful. I'll just focus on like stereotypes. Why don't you go now, dude? What's the most ENTP thing about you?
Okay, so I live in my head. I think that's the most ENTP thing about me is I live in my head, but at the same time, sometimes I just turn it into a complete sensor. So I have two modes. I'm either like in my head and not talking to anybody, or I'm just a complete sensor and I'm just living in the moment, but then I channel some of that intuitiveness into the moment. And it's just a weird concoction of, it's like a sensor with an intuitive side, you know, instead of an intuitive. So we, you know,
intuitive with the sensor side. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, well, that's what I am. But when I am in the moment, I am a sensor with an intuitive side. It changes a little bit. You see?
I will agree though, bro. So Sergio and I have the most fun ever. Like, this dude turns into like another ESFP or something. It's like a dumpster fire. So like, and bro, like your observational skills are so precise. Like I pointed to things that are far away and ask if you notice like certain details about something. Like, oh, look at the, you know, like this, whatever, the mountains, the star, and then you notice an even finer detail that I missed. So I was like, as an intuitor, I'm like, what?
Yeah, we also like to stroke each other's egos a little bit, but that's not necessarily Meyers Briggs related. Yeah. That's fun.
I wonder if it's an ESFP thing to not like find much value in that. Because like if someone were to stroke my ego, I just kind of like them, thanks, and it doesn't have much effect on me. But weirdest thing ever, like I kind of wonder if that's an ESFP thing. I get flattered when someone compliments my taste. Like if someone says, "Hey man," I've gotten a lot of compliments on my friends before. Like, "Hey man, you have like they'll say something nice about the friends that I just introduced them to. Like if they're at my birthday party or something, like, dude, there's a lot of high quality people here, bro. How'd you find all these guys?" That, and also music, like, or anything that has to do with my taste. I'm like, really? Like that, I take it and it does stuff and it makes me feel good. But other compliments, it's like kind of like, I don't think very much.
Hey, Kenneth, you have a great taste in friends.
I've been told that, dude.
You see what I did there? I got like complimented myself too. But anyways, back to the thing.
It's under law.
But the most ENTP thing about me is I live in my head, and sometimes I forget to do stupid things like pay a freaking bill, and it'll be like the most simple thing, and I'll put it off for like 3 weeks, and I'm over here doing this complex task, like nothing, you know. So that's like the most ENTP thing. And then through like 3 weeks later, it's like, hey, is this red? Like I'll get like some red notification in the mail, like, hey, this is like you gotta pay this.
Can I speak?
And no, get out of my channels and
Better pop in the frame real quick, dude.
yeah, so that is
ESTP in
that's,
the house.
no, be quiet. Just leave, get out of the way. All right, and then
ESTP
that
in
is
the house.
that is the most ENTP thing, and then that's why me and Kenneth get along, because we don't take things serious, like too serious sometimes, you know. And
Oh,
so
the sister talking, by the way, though.
that's a P. So all you J's, you know, loosen up a little bit. But let's go to the next question.
ESTP in the house.
So, anyways,
Oh, I will say though, like I'm the opposite. You say you live in your head. I will say this, man. I don't know if this is an ESFP thing. I have to assume it is. I don't think very much. I very much not in my head most of the day. I do have ADD, blah, blah, blah. But even, so yeah, I'm not in my head. And one time someone was talking about racing thoughts, bro, you probably heard this story, but just whatever. So one time someone was talking about racing thoughts, and I was like, oh, what do you mean by that? And then they elaborated. We're at a prayer group, or no, we're at a Bible study. So there was like people everywhere. I mean, it was like a room full of people, maybe like 15 young adults or something. And this person described racing thoughts, and I want to say like half the room said they also have what was described in that moment as racing thoughts. And the other half of the room just stayed quiet. And then I said, what? And then I told them what it's like in my brain. So I sort of, up until that point in time, I didn't even realize like people were different as it relates to like the frequency by which we think. And so this girl made it sound like, she says all throughout the day, her mind's always going, going, going. It's kind of like a faucet that's on and thoughts are just coming out of the faucet and doesn't stop. For me, it's as if the faucet's all the way off, but it drips every so often, drip, drip, drip. And like, so I have thoughts randomly, and they usually are not, I think when I need to. I think if there's like, if I go to like a social thing and then someone's acting kind of like, almost like I offended them, maybe I'll start thinking after the social thing's over, after I'm walking home, or after I'm like walking my car or something. I'm like, why is a person acting like they're offended? What did I say? And so that's when I think. But outside of times when I need to think, I don't think very much. And when I do, it's usually reminiscing on a funny or fun time, or thinking of like cool ideas for business related things, or just ideas, problem solving. What's up?
I think you just have your hand on the faucet, like turn it on and off.
Bro.
And some people, it's just like the handle's broken, so they can't stop it.
I literally tried to think. Not too long ago, my battery died on my phone, and I listen to music like 24/7. And so the battery died on the phone, and I was driving. And so I had to wait like 5 minutes for it to charge enough to turn back on. And I was like, man, it's quiet in my car. So I was like, oh, let me try to think about something. And I was like, oh, I got it. What about an apple? And I thought about an apple for just a few seconds, and I was like, nah, like kind of like I'm bored of this. And then I was like, and then I literally thought, how about a pear? And then I laughed as hard as possible, like by myself in the car. Didn't have another thought after that. Phone came back on. Second question.
Kenny, so
I'll ask you.
Okay, all right, let's do this.
All right, Sergio, bro. What literature about being an ENTP do you feel does not fit you, at least you specifically?
Arguing with everybody. So all these people, the most common thing I hear about ENTPs is, oh, ENTPs always arguing with everybody. And, you know, people make memes and stuff like that. uh, all over Instagram, all you see is like, you'll see some funny memes about every other type. And you'll be like, what are ENTPs doing in class? It's like, what is ESFP doing in class? What is ENTJ doing in class? And what is ENTP doing in class? And ENTP is always like arguing with the teacher. Like, there's nothing original anymore. Like, at this point, every meme I see about ENTP is arguing with the teacher, or arguing with somebody. But I think if you get to know an ENTP, I think maybe when they're young, they do it. They do argue with people, but they kind of grow out of it because a lot of them realize that there's kind of no point to arguing with people.
Do you
So
have,
you mature and you start to apply it into you start to take that skill of putting these complex things together, and you apply them to other areas of your life. So you can take it and do it, with work, or putting together stories. Because, like, if you think about it, arguing is very complex, and you it's a skill that you take, and you might do it when you're younger, but as you grow older, it's not necessarily even true. So you get to the point where I guess you're arguing, but you're not. Like, you'll do some very complex tasks, and you'll see all these things, and like you hear, cliche, all these possibilities, but instead of using it to argue with people, you're using it to be like really good at something, or come up with all these creative ways to solve something, or try to fit pieces together to solve these complex puzzles. So um you know I think ENTPs, a lot of them when they're young they do, but I personally know a lot of ENTPs, and um I would say maybe 50% of them argue with people, and 50% of them don't.
that's a soda.
Hey, that's society.
Second question, or, okay, now I'll go.
Yeah, go for it, man.
Can you read the question, dude? It's not on my screen.
Yes. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I see ENTP right there. Huh? Maybe ENTP. What literature about ESFPs do you feel doesn't fit you specifically?
Two things. One thing is that it says we don't like, or an ESFP doesn't like correction, doesn't respond well to criticism. Dude, the door is wide open. I'll take advice from like a 5-year-old girl, people I've never met, people younger than me. Like, it doesn't matter who you are. Like, I want to listen. Tell me, even if it's ridiculous, even if you start off, the first words out of your mouth already make it obvious what you're about to say. It's like probably like not sound, like almost like maybe you're not well. I'll still listen to you. And not saying I'm going to do whatever advice you have for me for sure. I'll listen. Maybe it's good, maybe it's not. But whatever, bro. So I will say that's one thing, is I'm really open to advice. I invite advice into my life. I think it's healthy to hear people out, take correction. In the Bible, it says, basically, like, if you love to learn, you will love to learn from others. Like in Proverbs, it says, like, the one who hates correction is stupid, and the one who loves to learn loves wisdom. The one who loves to learn pretty much likes that sort of thing. I'm paraphrasing. It's like 10 or 15 different proverbs that talk about it. So that's one. And then two, it says ESFPs love to be the center of attention. And I will just say, I understand how an outsider could write some literature like that and assume that it's true, because they are noticing something. Attention is constantly on an ESFP, at least from what I read. I've never really met an ESFP, but for myself, speaking for myself, attention just seems to follow, like, my personality causes attention naturally. I'm not trying to cause that effect. Sometimes I'm trying to have a low-key day, even, like, because maybe there's weird drama in the room and like offended someone the last time I was there or something. So like, I just don't want that. And it still happens. Like, oh, and like, I'll be like maybe bobbing my my body to like some song that's just lightly playing in the background. And then like everyone's looking at me, and it might have seemed to an outsider that I'm trying to cause this effect, but I'm not. I'm just in the moment. I don't even realize I'm doing this sometimes. And whatever, it causes eyeballs. So I will say, better said, it's not that we love the spotlight, and not to sound arrogant or anything, but maybe the spotlight loves ESFPs. Like the spotlight can't help but point at an ESFP personality person. Like that would make more sense to me, because I don't try to get attention. Like that's gross. Why would I want that? Like, or why would I don't know. Like it just kind of happens.
It's
And
not
when it's there, and when it's there, like when it's there, like it's not like I'm like, um, when it's there, like it's there, and it's all I've ever known. So like I'm used to like having it or whatever. It happens a lot. Oh, that's my phone. For all up until like middle school, I thought everyone got a lot of attention all the time.
It's that high tea, bro. Hey, no, honestly, man, I think you just do what's comfortable because you don't hold yourself back. Like a lot of people do hold themselves back, but since you're so in the moment, you're not really thinking, oh, what is this person gonna think, or what is this other person gonna think, you know? And people aren't really even used to seeing that, so um, they get
Right.
shocked to see people with like little inhibitions, you know?
Yeah, and like I'll
He's
also
always overthinking things, and you're so like so like so sensor and such a sensor and such a perceiver that you're not even thinking about that at all. So it makes you a very unique person.
and
It
what I
makes
will say is funny about like the names, intuitive, like intuitive kind of means from the intuition, I guess, and like it's a funny name to use because as an ESFP, I feel like I'm always just like going with my gut feeling. Like, I feel as though I've described it as though I got this from somewhere else, to be frank. Like I'm walking through a place with really high weeds, and I'm with a machete just hacking down weeds in front of you, like whack, whack, whack. And in many ways, um, just not really following the footsteps of anyone else, and not really thinking, not everything that I'm doing, not everything that I say and do is something that I planned. Like it's all very impromptu, all the conversations. I don't first think about what I'm going to say and then say it. It's as if you're hanging out with my brain. It's as if my brain is in the room and you're just hanging out with my brain. And then that's why the quick responses, the really quick jokes, the really quick wit or whatever, like I didn't have to like go into my head, think about what you just said, come up with 3 possible answers, choose one, summarize it, edit it, and then click enter, submit, and then shoot it out of my body. It's just like, you just get it. And so if someone who plans everything out and thinks a lot, and that's where they operate from, and then they meet me, man, they can assume I am a result of many choices and decisions. And hey, bro, where you going, dude?
I'm not going anywhere, dude. I'm
Question number 3, dog.
stretching.
I'm not a result of a bunch of
Hey, you could carry this
throughout the day. Sometimes, bro, like, hey, sometimes I'll just grab whatever's clean. Like if I like got lazy and I didn't feel like putting stuff in the dryer right away, like I'll just grab random clothes and then dash out, and I get like the most compliments. Soda,
Hey, Kenny.
soda.
That's funny. No, I was just gonna say, like you could carry the conversation on your own if you wanted to. That's all I was gonna say. Huh?
I said, I'm sorry, bro. I have a question for you.
No. Wait, why are you apologizing, dude?
My bad.
Don't apologize.
That was a rant that I felt that I had like
Nah, but it's good, man. That's a very interesting rant. Like, ranting is only bad when nobody cares about what you rant about. But you know what? Like, that was an interesting rant. So
oh shucks.
yeah. So hey, man, I'm proud of you for that. That's like a good whole 5 minutes. We're gonna get monetized a lot. You know, that's whole 5 minutes of monetization right there. You know. So
Gee whiz. Hey, Sergio, I have a question, bro.
yeah, ask me the question, man.
In what ways, like what are some of the weaknesses of being an ENTP are like, in what ways does what are some of the struggles of being an ENTP? Practical ways by which being an ENTP can be boo-boo sometimes. And by boo-boo, I mean like whack, dog, not cool,
There is
not like a struggle.
a lot of things.
Bullet point them and then emphasize on like the ones that you take issue with the most.
Starting off with, okay, obviously, just because you're a certain type doesn't mean you're necessarily like super smart or anything. But like my particular type, you grow up and you have this like you're just, the way your brain functions is like, hey, you're thinking about this, you're thinking about that. You're so, I think you could say you're so in your head that when problem solving requires you to think in your head, you're just naturally a little better than a lot of people. So like you go to like elementary school and like even middle school, and you have all these people telling you like, oh my gosh, you're so smart, you're gonna do such amazing things when you grow up, like you can do anything you want, like tell your parents that they should be doing this for you, doing that for you. And then you grow up, and then you realize that smarts only get you so far, and you get to a point where it's like you're not living up to your potential. So like it happens to a lot of people who are like that. So you're like the smart burnouts, you're like the typical smart burnout in a way. So you grow up, maybe you got good grades in school, but you're not doing amazing like you saw yourself doing when you were in like fifth grade or when you were in like middle school. And then you still have this idea in your head of like, oh my gosh, I'm so smart, I should be doing really good, or I should have already be doing this, or I should already be successful. And part of the reason why you never get there is because you grow up and you're in like your fourth grade, fifth grade, middle school, even high school. You just show up to class, you pay attention, you do great on tests, and then you just pass. But you get to a point where like even in college, you just sometimes you just show up, you'll do great in the class, but there's some classes where it starts to not really work that way anymore. Like there's some classes where the professor only teaches you so much and now you got to teach yourself. Classes where
That's funny.
that's the classes where you start to struggle a little bit. Or the professor will teach you how to do something one time and you zoned out and you miss one step and they'll ruin the whole thing for you. And so that's where you really start to see the effects of lack of discipline, and like where you start to see the drawbacks of only relying on your intelligence. So like when you're in ENTP, you have that P. So naturally you're a lot less about organization, little less about discipline, and more about living in a moment and kind of doing what feels good. And it's a struggle to shift from kind of doing whatever you want and just relying on your intelligence and your wit and your charisma to like becoming an organized person with discipline and with all of that. So that is one of the really, really, really big ones. Another really big one is just forgetting like simple things. Always something really small. And like I talked about earlier in the video, it'll be like, hey, I need to make a car payment, and then a month later your car gets like repossessed. you could be making $1 million a year, but your car is repossessed and now you can't go to work. And it's like
More of
you
an
can have
ADD flaw.
Huh?
That's probably more of an ADD flaw.
It is an ADD flaw, but there's certain types I like, and this is a theory that I have, is that I feel like certain types kind of naturally they tend to have ADD, or they have a higher chance of having ADD than other types, or maybe
yeah,
ADD,
I think like every ESFP has ADD. I think it's like
exactly
or something.
Kenny is an ESFP, he has ADD. I'm ENTP. I have ADHD, so I can't stop moving. You know, I'm always freaking dancing. I'm at work, right?
I
I'm
think
supposed to be calm. I'm supposed to be doing problem solving. Sometimes it's quiet. It's really slow. I'm just like, you know, I'm like,
we
I
attract
start
each other.
dancing.
ADD people attract ADD people to themselves.
Exactly.
So like
Exactly.
you're really close to me, bro. So like you have to have ADD. Like got to
Exactly.
be.
So, and then the thing is that you know, ADD does have its benefits. Like I think people do think that you're really fun because you're really random, and a lot of people lose that randomness as they grow older. But again, like those are some of the struggles of being an
Sergio,
ENTP. Like sometimes you just never get anywhere. You
Sergio,
know?
let me ask you a random question.
Yeah.
What do you think about like I've tried thinking and it kind of comes out like the way like what I told you. Unless I have something to think about or I'm problem solving or it's like something there's a problem right in front of me or a task at hand. Unless there's some task I ain't thinking, dude. I can sit here for a long time without thinking anything. So like what do you think about like let's say you're sitting in your room right now. Let's say if you weren't doing this right now, what do you think you'd be thinking about?
If I were just sitting here, I'd probably be thinking about.
That's my timer, bro.
Well, nah, it's fine. Turn that timer off. We don't need it.
I can't. Okay, there it goes. Go ahead.
Okay. I would probably be thinking about like the creation of Israel and
What?
how the creation of Israel and how that connects to like all these prophecies and stuff. You know, I think a lot about like
Conspiracy theories as well.
it's one of the things.
For the record, just quick, like I'm like the opposite of a conspiracy theorist. I will spend almost as much time as they'll spend talking about it, trying to like disprove it or whatever. But go on, dude.
Yeah. Also, like I'll start thinking about like the most nerdy things of all time. I'll start thinking about economics and quantitative easing and the Federal Reserve buying junk bonds and how that's gonna like how like where inflation is happening. I'll start thinking about like the most nerdy things of all time. And I try to always trying to figure things out in my head, you know. And I think for like certain types, it happens like for Kenny, I know it happens a lot, like without him thinking about it. But I have the little voice in my head where it's just like bring this and trying to connect this, and I'm always trying to connect this other thing, or trying to come up with some genius way of selling something at work, you know, like
This is so interesting, dude. So wait up. All right, so you listed like kind of like end times prophecy, and then also the things like even though you kind of didn't say it, like I'll just like say it for you, like things that are conspiracy theory ask, and then now sales go on. Work related stuff, right?
Related stuff. The way people think. I'm always thinking about the way people think, and it's always things like that.
Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? The way people think?
Okay. So I know.
Because I don't really think, so I don't know what you mean.
It sounds really funny, but it'll be like, you know, how men and women interact with each other. Or sometimes like,
I love that topic.
I know a lot of people, you know, probably don't want to think about this too much because it's depressing or it sounds
It's like stepping on a landmine field, bro.
Yeah, but sometimes I think about like, hey, you know, like today I was thinking about it's a theory, don't take it too serious. Like are women that are more, or not even women, just people in general that are more, you know, in the moment, and people that kind of like, you know, people that are, I guess even you can say censors, people who live in the moment, are they more likely to cheat than people who kind of let themselves get swept up a little bit less, you know? Like
if I had to guess, can I give you a quick answer?
Give me a quick answer.
Here's what I think. I think peas are sweet. Oh, wait a minute. So being pea doesn't have anything to do with being in the moment, but
it kind of does.
I think sweet people are less likely to cheat. Yeah, I think sweet people are way less likely to cheat. And so like whatever the sweet personality types are, I think are going to be like, and the ones that have like a good health, well, the ones that like are known for having a good healthy, what's it called, dude, when you feel feelings for people? Empathy? I forget. What do T's struggle with supposedly?
Empathy.
Empathy. So whichever personalities like have empathy in spades, and by that I mean like do very well with empathy, like they've got it in high volume, way less likely to cheat. Like I have like massive empathy or whatever, if that's the term, because there's empathy and sympathy, and I forget which ones are which. I think empathy.
I personally believe that people who value experiences a lot are more likely to cheat. And
Yeah, what? Oh, value experiences.
Yeah, and the reason being that a lot of people they like romance because of they like they like the story and they like the feel and everything. It's like an adventure to them, you know? And they really get involved because of the entire experience, not necessarily even for the person, but
So if they're married to a dude that ain't giving them experiences, soon as somebody comes along that's really like, you know, look like they're gonna give them an experience.
But
like
also
they might be intrigued. At least they're like their little cockroach antennas start to go like this. Hey, like the cockroach antennas start to twirl a little bit. What's going on out there?
Never. I was gonna say something.
Something crazy.
I'll leave for another day. But no, you know, I feel like okay, like there are people who only have a 3-month relationship. So it's a very common thing for people, especially certain women will only have relationships that last about 3 months, and then they'll go from 3 month relationship to like another 3 month relationship. And it's because that's generally the amount of time that a honeymoon phase lasts.
Whoa, did you read that or you thought about it?
I read it, but I kind of connected it to people. So I've read a little bits and pieces of certain things, and then I'll connect it to like one.
Describing people that like the experiences.
Yeah, exactly. And then I connect, like I didn't read it about the people I like experiences. I kind of thought about that myself while I was brushing my teeth, you know. So I was brushing my teeth thinking about this stuff. And then I kind of started thinking about it. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe when I'm talking to somebody, I should try to see how much of what they like about me is like how much am I sweeping them off their feet? Maybe me sweeping them off their feet too easily or too much is kind of a bad thing. Maybe if a girl's too crazy about me too quickly, it's kind of a bad thing.
Well, too quick, yeah, that could be like a certain disorder. That could be like borderline personality disorder, bro.
It could be, but it could also
like excessive.
But it could also mean that they tend to let themselves get swept up by their feelings more, which means they're more likely.
It could also mean it's their first like boyfriend or whatever.
It could, but it could also mean they're more likely to get swept up by their feelings. So maybe, you know, the
feelings are good.
Your relationship is settling maybe a little bit, and you're over the butterflies, and you're getting into, you know, the routine of the relationship a little bit more. And here comes along this new guy, and instead of, you know, maybe if a girl's a J and she tends to be a little bit more disciplined, she would kind of, you know, be like, hey, maybe it's not good that I am close to this person. But some people, not just girls, but some people, they will be like, hey, you know what? This looks exciting. Let me see where this goes. You know, you know, I'm not gonna do anything, but you know, F it, you know, like you only live once. And they're like the curiosity will get the better of them, and they get tempted. It's like alcohol, you know, like when you see that beer in front of you and you enjoy the beers, you enjoy drinking, it's like right there, you know. They enjoy getting swept off their feet, and they know it's probably gonna happen, and sometimes they'll just let themselves get swept off their feet with somebody else.
Just a quick intuitive thought.
Go for it.
At the end of the day, if you're married, you're gonna go through like many things. You're gonna be like, oh man, he's amazing. I'm kind of bored. Like, if the marriage is long enough, like if you guys get married, let's say some people get married in their 20s, let's say they live to be 100, at some point, like they would have experienced let's just pretend they would have experienced all the highs and lows a marriage could experience. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, when all else fails, like I think at the end of the day, when all else fails, it comes down to like empathy, bro.
Dude, you know what? I actually read that somewhere.
Just like a husband, like let's say a husband's really good at giving a wife experiences that she wants. Mm-hmm. Eventually, she gets used to the genre of experiences he tends to provide, or like, you know, the type of experiences he gives out. It's always like got the same flavor to it, or I'm just making stuff up. She gets bored of it, let's say, or the frequency diminishes, or the quality does, whatever, or both. And then some other dude comes along and she has the impression that, or knows for some reason that he does give off a different type of experience, one that she's always longed for, never had. Like, let's say a guy that will pick her up and like carry her in front like this and spin around and kiss her like in public. And this guy's like no PDA, never swept her off her feet once, like physically, you know. At some point, like there's no perfect man that can like, that's what I'm trying to say. There's no perfect person that can perfectly fill in all the weak spots that a girl might be experiencing. And he just got there just in time to level it out with putty so that there's no problem in the relationship. At some point, that fool's gonna miss a spot. And what it's gonna rely on at that point is like, does she have it in her heart to cheat? Can this woman cheat?
And
Like,
it's never indefinite. And you know what? I completely agree with you on that. And I'm just gonna say agree with you on that because I know that after a certain amount of time, marriages become like friendships, like more than they're more like friendships than anything else, you know. Like after you're 50 and you know maybe your person's like
I can still hear you, bro. I'll turn it up a little louder. Xeria, I'm just gonna grab a water. Be right back. Keep talking though, I can hear you.
but after you're 55 or 60, you know, it's not, you're not gonna be attracted to that person like when you were 20, you know, and that's not what a marriage is about at that point. It's more about, you know, they become your lifelong friend, you know, and that's one of the reasons why you should never choose somebody because of the way they look or because they make you feel a certain way always. That's why there's certain traits that you should look for, like empathy, like, you know, long-term stability, more than what a lot of people look for in a partner. A lot of people will look for things in a partner like, do they have abs? Are they funny? And funny does matter, but like, don't look at how many other girls like them, or they'll look at how many other guys like this girl, or they'll look at things that are gonna wear off eventually, you know. But anyways, Kenny, we got a little bit off topic.
We digress, dog.
Yeah, we digress.
You gotta go.
Let me ask you, what is a struggle of ESFP? And like, you know, what are some ways that you struggle and what are some ways that it sucks?
I'll have to assume it's related to being an ESFP.
Mhm.
But I'm pretty sure it is. So like pretty much every ADD symptom, the ones that impact day-to-day life negatively, like being forgetful, running late, things like that. I will also say, because I'm so extroverted, excuse me, and instead of being in my mind, I'm out here, right? So imagine just busting through the door. Imagine like imagine you're meeting a bunch of new people all at once. Let's say you're at a church thing, whatever. You come through the door already just appearing in some way that's loud, so people will sort of turn their heads, let's say, right? And then, so you have people, judgmental people are already doing this judgmentally thing that they do. And then people that are not judgmental are just like, whatever. And then on top of that, my body movements, and I'm loud, or like I'm laughing, I'm like, ha, 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 cracking jokes. And so no matter where you're at in the room,
turn on classic alarm clocks.
as Alexa trying to remind me stuff, no matter where I'm at in the room, people can hear me. So you don't have to be sitting right across from me at a dinner table or really, really close to me in order to know what I'm saying. I talk loud enough and like I joke around so loud that like the people at the next table over can hear what I'm saying. And so they're just catching these tidbits of jokes that I'm saying, and they get the impression that whatever they're hearing and seeing is all that I am. And all I am is this loud ball of energy. And if they're more on the serious side, there's a lot of valuable people. And by that, I mean people that I really like and enjoy and are close to me. They're more on the serious side. And so when they meet me right out the gate, they might have assumed and have told me things like they've assumed, whatever. They might assume that I don't take anything seriously. I'm all jokes. I don't have a brain. I'm like super dumb and airheaded. There's no way, what they see is all there is. And
Kenny,
there's no deeper side to me.
can I interrupt you real quick?
But,
So I actually, it's funny because as an ENTP, I've actually got into that, you know, I've gotten that. So there'll be times where I just act like a complete, I'll just do whatever I feel like doing. And people will think I'm a complete, like, you know, I'm an idiot, a little bit of an idiot, you know, just because I'll sit in class with my feet on the desk and I'll crack some dumb jokes, you know.
yeah, he really will. He really will.
Yeah. So it's like, you know, sometimes I think ENTPs kind of turn into different types a little bit. But I get where you're coming from, and you know for a fact that you have all these other things going on in your head, and you're not necessarily like a complete.
I'm not about to tell them anything. I'm not like, oh, guess what? And then list off all these things that might cause a different thought.
Hey, you're gonna be like,
In their mind.
hey, you know what? I'm ESFP, but pi equals 3.14159.
But yeah, so like I was getting it. I get misunderstood a lot, not by everybody all the time, but it happens. But what's cool is people do come around. So people that misunderstand me at first and they misjudge me, if you would, a lot of them will eventually kind of, they've come to me and they've told me, like, I'd be completely honest, bro. In 1 year, I got like something like 4 or 5 people come to me in like 8 months. And it was all like girls, dude. It was all like my friends' girlfriends and stuff like that, or like girls at church or something. They've said things like, Kenny, like when I first met you, I didn't like you. And I'm just like, what did I say? What did I do? And it's like something, they caught the tail end of something I said and it is out of context. Like I said, I'm far away enough that they can't really hear they can hear a piece of what I'm saying, but they're assuming, they're like taking what I said and then using their imagination to assume maybe what question led to the answer that I gave.
Hey, they're
Whatever.
They're being intuitives, dude.
Yeah, so intuitives will take my sensory details and then come up with for 100 intuitives will come up with 100 different answers on who I am, because they use their imagination to fill in all the gray blanks, the stuff that they haven't seen, the stuff they don't know. And so I get misunderstood a lot and it's annoying and I don't like it. And like, it's been happening to me a lot lately, bro, because like, you know, like I moved here recently, like, or about 12 months ago now, dude, this month, 12 months, bro. So like, basically constantly meeting new people, trying to make new friends, trying to find my wifey too at the same time. And like dudes, you know, bro, like some dudes can get like jealous and like kind of cause that effect on people, cause people to like perceive you negatively. And then yeah, and then people that aren't humorous will probably just right out the gate be like, what the heck is your problem, bro? Like almost like I am the opposite of so many people a lot of the time. And for some people, dude, I'm the opposite of them, yet they're having a great time and they're laughing and they're like, oh man, dude. And they're like, let me get your Instagram. And then things go well. And other times we're the opposite. And dude, they like hate my guts. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, man, sometimes I think some of these people, they were raised by like, hey, you're supposed to be like this. You're an adult. You're supposed to be serious. You know, you're supposed to be this. You're supposed to be that. And they become that, and then they see you over here like you're making it. You're not being serious. You're being a complete opposite of how they were told they're supposed to be when they were young by their parents. Somehow they see you making it. They see you making money. They see you, you know, like attracting the ladies. They see you doing all these things, and you're not how their image of how a successful person is supposed to be. And so they feel a little bit of cognitive dissonance, you know? And
Bro,
so I think
blow my mind, dog. There's already no thoughts in there. You just made it even worse.
hey, ENTP status, bro. Yeah, but hey man, I'm gonna get going.
Night.
I'm gonna get going, yeah, because I got work tomorrow. And I gotta,
It was fun, Sergio, dog.
dude, honestly, man, this podcast was great, bro.
Hey,
We
let's
didn't,
text each other more like topic ideas, bro.
dude,
Oh, in case some person that doesn't know what's happened to watch this video all the way to this point, some of the topics that we think we'll talk about a lot are like some of our favorite topics. Me being a born again Christian, like for me, being a Christian is the most important thing about me. So I like talking about that a lot. Sergio and I can't seem to, we always, all roads lead to certain topics with us. We tend to think a lot about masculinity, feminineness in women, and just like how people are different, but not like bagging on other types, but just more like whatever. We just talk about personalities quite a bit, and honestly, like we talk about masculinity a lot because we're like men and stuff, and like that's just what we like to talk about, huh? That's what we're thinking about talking about.
yeah,
Huh?
so we're probably gonna do blogs. We're gonna make skits. We're gonna do podcasts. We're gonna do everything, whatever we feel like.
Oh, dude,
We're
all
gonna
the
have guests.
Instagram videos, dude. We should like put them on here, man. So Sergio and I have a lot of fun together. We'll just like it'll be a boring Tuesday, and it's just like before you know it, time of like best time of my life.
We're like,
Every week, every time I hang out with him, it's like pretty much like the most fun I've ever had every time.
hey, we're like, hey, dude, what are you doing? I'm bored, man. Come through. All right, bro. I'll pick you up. We go to some random spot. We'll meet some random people.
Talk to everybody.
We'll make some people uncomfortable, and we'll have a laugh while we're making them uncomfortable, and then they end up loving us. So,
We'll talk to people for a long, long time. We'll dance with them. We'll dance
just
like in public. Man, there's like a million fun stories, dude.
this Sunday we went to the beach and we were dancing around people. We like put some music on and we were dancing. We were just doing, you know, little moves and everything.
We probably talked to 10 different like groups of people just as we went.
Mhm. We did. And this girl with her man's kind of, you know, started hitting on me. And I was just there and her man came out of the restroom and I felt a little bad, you know. That's the kind of trouble that we get ourselves into. Like, you know, you don't even try to do it. Sometimes it just kind of comes to you. But it's just what happens when, you know, you're bringing the energy to the people. So sometimes these people will come and they'll, I don't know, you find yourself in all these crazy situations without really meaning to, you know?
Yeah, man. As a born again Christian, I would only ever go out with the Christian girls and stuff like that. So like, I don't even pay attention to that stuff, dude.
Hey, we what did we do? We sat next to a random we started talking to some random people on a picnic and they invited us to sit in their blanket with them. So that was real
Oh
fun.
yeah, I remember that.
Um
We should
yeah,
go there, dude.
did that and then some people we also went to we went to some people that were having a barbecue and they were real nice. So
And next time we should walk up to people and like ask if we could like buy a plate.
you know what we should do?
Oh, dude, we should like buy like certain ingredients from different people and make our own plate, bro, dude. At the beach.
Dude, that would be a
That'd be
big deal.
Imagine getting like a weird stomach ache from that.
That would be one cool video. Then another cool video. That's
Give it to somebody else and pay them to eat it.
Kenny, write that down, bro. That's amazing, dude. Here, I'm gonna write it down on my
Some
note.
teenager will do it for $10. But like, I swear, dude, he can watch the video himself. Like here, we just grabbed
Oh,
it.
how about we make a video of us collecting all these ingredients from different people and then we make a stranger eat it.
We don't make them. We ask them if they want to do it, and then like from their own will, they would decide to do it or not.
Nah, we make them, dude. We're gonna like if they don't want to eat it, we're gonna shove their face into the plate and make them eat it, dude.
Yeah, like behind the scenes, low key. I think that'd be a great video, man.
Yeah, and then I think another funny video, which is a little bit less PG, but I think it would be a little fun.
We gotta be careful. What is it doing?
I think would be if we like maybe had somebody dressed up in a dog costume. I'm not gonna say who it is yet, but we're like, hey man, we need some. You got some ribs for my dog, you know? We carry him around in a leash and we just record the video, you know, like, and then see how many people actually give us ribs, dude.
What are you thinking about? Who are you thinking about?
I don't know. Hey, it'll be anybody, dude. It don't matter.
Okay, I thought you.
It could be. It could even be one of us, dude. If you're not too shy to do that.
So you got any ribs for my dog? And it's like a human wearing a costume.
Exactly.
Bro, I'm like, honestly, to be frank, I'm so hungry right now, dude. I should go, bro.
Dude, I'm gonna go to sleep.
Freaking out, dude. I gotta eat, dude. Look at it. No, it's fine.
Yeah,
Hey,
dude.
this is fun, dude. We finally did it. Like Sergio and I be hanging out, and people tell us all the time, like, oh, you guys should do a YouTube channel or something like that. We finally did it, dude. For one. What do you guys think about it?
Yeah, and see, we haven't even bought a good camera yet. This is on my MacBook, so this is like just to get the ball rolling.
Yeah.
So, you know, this is like the start. So we got nowhere to go but up right now.
I'm talking about, dude. We talk on the phone anyway, man.
I'll probably talk on the phone and have a conversation like this without recording it. So
Yeah, once our conversations get like fluent, like we get used to the camera and stuff, like just talk. I think that's when just let it flow, you know? Just let it flow. I think that's when it like starts to fly, dog. But that's when like
Hey,
real
dude,
magic will happen, dude.
the magic is gonna happen when you forget that the camera's even there.
Yeah. Oh shoot.
I am gonna have a good night. All right, man. You take care.
I gotta go. So hungry, bro. All right, man. Night. This is the Gnar Gnar Bros.
Gnar, bro.
Hey, night.
Hey, real quick.
Shut up.
You're gonna be Gnar, bro, Kenny. I'm gonna be Gnar, bro, Serge.
All right. Like, I'm Kenny the Gnar Gnar bro, and you're Sergio the Gnar Gnar bro. What do you think about that? Or you be just Gnar Gnar Kenny? Nah, yeah. Kenny the Gnar Gnar bro, Sergio the Gnar Gnar bro. Yeah. All right, Sergio, I'll catch you on the flip. I'll see you like probably this weekend or something like that. All right, man. Night.
I'm doing the editing, Kenny.
Peace out. Later.